Welcome to my short series where I make fun of your ships. For those who have played EVE, this ship is one that everyone has flown. This ship is EVE in a nutshell. So Sergeant Rooster told me to look into this one. Cause I for sure never flew it. I promise. Some ships in EVE Online are sleek, stylish and designed for high speed, high damage warfare. Some ships strike fear into their enemies just by appearing on the grid. And then there is the Drake. A ship that looks like it was meant to be a battleship but got stuck in puberty and never quite made it. This Caldari battlecruiser is the unwanted stepchild of New Eden. It's the physical embodiment of I do not want to be here but I also refuse to leave. It takes longer to die than it takes to train into a Titan, and for what? It fires missiles at a pace that could be best described as mildly interested in combat. If the Drake had a motto, it would be I'm not strong and I'm not fast, but I'm still here and that's your problem now. So let's break down why the Drake is the EVE equivalent of an overinflated pool toy that just won't pop. The first thing that you notice about the Drake is that it is a godless rectangle. The hull is so flat that it looks like it was designed by someone who never seen a spaceship before but had a rough idea of what the surface of the Death Star looked like. The top surface is completely covered in weird vents and panels, as if it's constantly overheating because it's just so flat and slightly bent. Every rookie thinks a Drake is huge, so it must be dangerous in PvP. The ship doesn't move fast. The ship doesn't do anything flashy. This ship looks like it should be sitting in a junkyard while a retired Minmatar engineer tried to sell it for scraps. The front of the Drake is so bizarrely shaped that it looks like it was built specifically to be in the way. The bridge is buried somewhere inside the armor, probably because the designers were embarrassed to be seen flying in this thing. The angled plating makes it look like it's constantly bracing for impact. The nose of the ship is so aggressively wide that it practically dares you to shoot at it, knowing full well that it will absorb the damage and keep going. This ship does not move gracefully. The ship does not maneuver well. This ship just exists in a constant state of, oh, you're still shooting me? That's cute. If the Drake was a personality, it would be that guy in the bar fight who doesn't throw a single punch but just stand there, soaking up damage and looking mildly disappointed in everyone else involved. Look at the Drake's armor plating. It literally looks like Thanos' gauntlet if he just wore it as a giant sleeve. Chunky, overbuilt, and covered in weird, unnecessary plates. I swear to you, if you painted it gold and slapped some gems on it, it could snap half the Caldari Navy out of existence. Sure, it doesn't kill anything quickly, but neither does a guy in a Humvee with a broken rifle. The Drake is the king of passive tanking. And what does that mean? It means that you can unload anything you have into it and just sit there, casually absorbing damage like an overconfident teenager playing dodgeball with toddlers. The shield recharge rate is so high that it might as well be regenerating out of pure arrogance. The armor plating looks like someone glued random slabs of metal onto it and called it a day. The entire ship is designed for one thing: refusing to die in the most annoying way possible. This ship is not fast, and this ship is not scary. This ship is just an unkillable space turtle that slowly lumbers forward, accepting its fate but also refusing to leave. If the Drake was a meme, it would be "This is fine" with a dog sitting in a burning room. The Drake is a missile boat, which means it doesn't do fast, high-impact bursts of damage. It just steadily plinks away at you until you either leave or die of boredom. It fires missiles at a rate that can be best described as polite harassment. The damage isn't great, but it is consistent enough to be annoying. It's just like my wife's monthly situation. It doesn't do burst damage, it doesn't do exciting damage, it just do damage. This ship does not intimidate, this ship does not inspire fear. This ship just sits at medium range, launching a never-ending stream of "Are you still there?" missiles. If the Drake was a text message, it would be "I am invincible," and 20 minutes later, "I'm still invincible." No, if the Drake was a text message, it would be K. No, this one. If the Drake was a text message, it would be "Hahaha, stop tickling me." No, I changed my mind again. If the Drake was a text message, it would be "FC, can I bring a Drake?" No reply. The Drake is slow. Not just slow, it's insultingly slow. It aligns at the speed of a tectonic plate shifting, it warps like it's legally obligated to make you wait, and it moves in a way that suggests that even it doesn't want to be there. The ship does not chase, the ship does not retreat, this ship just exists in its own time zone, fully expecting the rest of the universe to work around it. If the Drake was a real world tragedy, it would be a traffic jam caused by someone driving 15 miles under the speed limit in the left lane. Yeah, that happened to me today. I can't let it go. When the Drake dies, it doesn't go out in a blaze of glory. It doesn't even explode dramatically. It just sort of pops. The wreckage barely looks any different from the intact ship, like it was always meant to be derelict. The death animation feels like the ship itself is saying, whatever. The insurance claim process probably takes longer than the actual fight did. This ship does not die with dignity. This ship just eventually gives up, like an old man falling asleep in his recliner. If the Drake was a relationship, it would be the kind that ends with a mutual, unspoken agreement just to stop texting each other. At this point, you might be wondering, why does the Drake look like a refrigerator that accidentally got shot into space? And the answer: because Caldari engineers do not believe in sleek designs, they do not believe in agility, they only believe in what if we just made a flying brick with shields. And in that respect, they absolutely succeeded. It is just a tanky disappointment, like a guy who brags about his size but doesn't know how to use it. It is like Eviline's fleshlight. No one wants to say they love the Drake, but every veteran has used it at least once. It's not fast, it's not sexy, but goddamn it's reliable. When you're bored and lonely, you know you're gonna go back to it, even if you told yourself you moved on. The Drake is here to exist, refuse to die, and slowly chip away at its enemies until they either die of frustration or the pilots fall asleep mid-fight. It is the most stubborn ship in the game. It fires missiles like it's trying not to wake the neighbors. If the Cinnaball is the space hot rod, and the Moros is the flying dumpster, and the Obelisk is the bloated space whale, then the Drake is the battlecruiser that refuses to leave and refuses to fight properly and just sits there, tanking and existing, and making everyone's life slightly worse. Long live the flying Caldari divorce settlement. And that, my friends, make it one of the ugliest ships in EVE. Like the video if you want more, subscribe, or I will talk trash about the ship that you fly. And I see you guys again